Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
All right, welcome back. Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, episode 223. I am the One Piece Shark, and back this week after taking a week hiatus. How y'all fellas doing?
Man, what is good? Welcome back, Captain. And I'm like Craig Daddy right now. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Like, how you take an L on your bye week? Like, that's just crazy. But anywho, what's good, y'all?
Yeah, this is the same way you can take a L on any other week, especially when you looking like my pitiful poverty Panthers. Just another winless Sunday for your boy, man. Pray for me. All this just to give the Bears the number one pick again.
It's tough. I just share a no coming about my Titans, so we just can keep pushing. we miss our other two members, Sheedy and Skylar, that couldn't make it on this week, but we keep pushing. First up, of course, I always support the other podcasts on Network 3 the Harder Way. Y'all took a hiatus. Y'all might be out for a little second. I know Savage, the baby.
No. We coming back Tuesday, bro. No.
Tuesday. Okay.
We here.
Okay.
We here.
Okay.
No.
We'll see.
Tuesday, my boy.
It's NBA season, man. I know this is kind of strange time, but shout out to Savage. The baby shower is next Sunday. We may or may not have LBR next Sunday because of that as well. So we just stay tuned. That might be potentially down the pipeline. Also, shout out to Jeans. Jeans Report. He's been on a little hiatus lately, but he'll be back and kicking soon enough. I know he's down just like most of us with our NFL teams with the Giants as well. But LBR gaming. Yeah. Of course, Trevor has started LBR Gaming, so check out LBR Gaming. Simply Trevor LBR on YouTube as well. Also, remember to follow us on Twix, Twitter/X, TikTok, IG, Facebook at LBR_media. Subscribe on any podcasting platform. If you want to listen to audio at Let's Be Real Sports, and YouTube at Let's Be Real Media. But before we get to, we do have a guest today. Met her at Black Sports Business Symposium, so she'll kind of add on to everyone else I've had on from there, from the whole crew that I've had on from the Black Sports Business Symposium. She covers the Spurs, and we'll get to it in a second. But first up, of course, we have a sponsorship. Got to pay some bills. Manscaped. Support for Let's Be Real Media is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels, including Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million, 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code LBR Media at manscaped.com.
Gang.
Sorry, keep that John PG today. But of course, got Ryan. I got Ryan's
Hey, I resent that, dog. I resent that.
That's crazy.
Wait. All right, man. Before let's go and get back to our next intro video, then we'll bring in our guests right afterward. Let's be real. All right, we're back with our guest, Miss Jazz Wormley, contributor for Alamo and host of the Synopsis with Jazz Tamir. How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing? Should I turn it to the side so it makes sense? Fine.
Good.
Okay.
Right.
It's not making sense right now. My fault, y'all.
You good?
You're fine. Do what you do. It's cool.
There you go.
Hey,
Okay, this
there you
works.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was like, I gotta be a part of the crew.
Gang. You met up with the captain. You gang now, man. You gang. We friendly.
Yep.
All
It's
right, we're good.
always good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
I'm
Good.
excited because I'm in San Antonio, so I'm fine.
Yeah, y'all looking good down there. But first up, of course, as we always do, Q&A session with our first time guests. So, Took, take it away.
Yes, ma'am. Jazz, it's nice to meet you, and of course, definitely wonderful to have you. We're just gonna knock out a few questions just to get you know you a little bit better. So first things first, how'd you get into sports journalism?
It's an interesting story, but like a
You're
long
interesting
story
people.
short, um, a couple things. Like 2019, I had a baby actually. So I was in my junior year of college, and then after that, COVID hits, and like my whole life, all I was doing was theater and performing and singing and acting, and everything shut down. And so when I was kind of just trying to find another way to be artistic and creative, I also met, like, I came back home and I met a few friends who were playing ball. And one of the people I met had been injured, and I had seen him go through like his journey of being injured and getting back into playing. And then I grew up in a sports family. My mom loved sports. So in the downtime when sports did come back, that's all we were doing was watching sports and watching the Spurs. And so I didn't put two and two together until I started watching like colleges and stuff do videos of like meeting the players and just explaining their culture and how the guys could become assets to the team. But it was so intricate in the way that it was filmed. And I love the stories of the guys. And then I also saw my friend who was injured, I saw his story as well in more depth. And I was like, dang, like the way that those stories made me feel and the boost that they gave me in that time of like becoming a new mom and COVID hitting and kind of changing my entire life is the way I wanted to make other people feel. And I was like, well, how can I do that? And so I started looking into broadcast journalism as more of a career and more of a job. Because I guess growing up when I watched sports, I just never thought about like I never looked at the announcers or the sideline reporters or the analysts who were talking to me. I never thought, oh, like that's an actual job that you could have. Um, so that's really what sparked my interest. And then from then on, I started watching less as a fan and more of as a person who was trying to understand these guys, understand the game more, expand my knowledge, and build more of like a relationship to the point where I could tell the story. And then I was writing, took a leap of faith and decided, okay, we're going into this season in 2021 with the Spurs, or 2022, I think. Yeah, because I started covering college ball before that. I started covering ball at college and I did sideline reporting and got into some producing and directing games on ESPN Plus and stuff like that. And then I was like, okay, I've been writing for a while now. Let me see if I can get credentialed and really get in the room. Because that's what was most important to me, was being in the room. So I get in the room and it kind of just goes up from there. I start building connections. People actually like my work, which I'm happy about. And I always knew I probably could write because my mom she worked for the newspaper way back. She was a journalist and she was hard on me about just papers in school. So I knew I had the capability of writing, but the ability to tell a story that's meaningful is something that you can't really teach to other people. So yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, look at you now. And
I know, right?
you're from San Antonio, right?
I say yes because I've been here so long, but no, I was born in Virginia and I was raised in Georgia. So
Okay.
Decatur, Atlanta, people.
Hey,
That's where
there we
I'm
go.
originally from. And then I moved here in middle school because my mom was in the military. She's retired now, but she was a chaplain. And so she got stationed here a few years before I ended up moving here. And then I came. But I've been back and forth on the East Coast all the time. I was at Clark Atlanta when I actually first went to college. And so I've been back on the East Coast all the time. But this is definitely a home for me. And I really love it here. So I consider myself a Texan as well.
Interesting. Shark.
Nice. Next question. Of course, I met you at the Black Sports Business Symposium. So in Atlanta, ironically. So I just wonder because a lot of people still hadn't heard about it even up to this year. So how did you first hear about it?
Well, it was the second time they were doing it, and I heard about it the first time after it had already passed, because I was looking for a way, like when I studied sports broadcasting and I got a certification in it, but everything I did was mostly online, and I set up like my own equipment. Any assignment I did, I was doing on my own, and it just wasn't enough for me as far as being here, because I wasn't like at the stadium yet, I think, writing for the Spurs. So I wanted more exposure, I guess, to the community and to the people. It's a very small community here, and I think I'm one of the youngest and the only Black woman in my particular area doing it in San Antonio. So I was like, I want to see more people like me. I wanted to see more people who were in the same position as me, who hadn't already been doing it for 10 plus years. And just to kind of get in that place where I can make connections and relationships and see where else this could take me. And so I was determined that when they opened to apply to do it this past year, that I was going to apply. So I was looking online, like, okay, what is there for us? Like, where can I go to talk to people who are, like I said, in the same position, like-minded, and are also Black, just straight up.
Yeah. Same, similar. I know last year I had heard of it probably like a couple of weeks before it started. Actually, it went on last year because the guy we met, Mike Patton, he had, I think he had already applied for it, but then he got accepted, and that's when I found out about it. And I was like, oh, it's too late now. Let me try making next year. So similar. I was looking for something similar, just network with people of color, our people. And another thing, nugget I took from there was like, maybe you was like the only person from San Antonio that at least I encountered and met there. And similar, I was like one of the only people there from Memphis. So that I did kind of take those things to account, that it was pretty cool for that to be the case. Also, what was your experience like?
I loved it. I think what they did and the intention that they had behind it was what was executed, at least on my end. I met people, like I said, everything I went there to get, I got. I met people who were like-minded. I met young Black individuals who were in a similar position as me. And then I also met young men and women who were even ahead of the game and doing great things, who had came last year, made connections, and were the result of what you could accomplish there, which I really loved, because it showed if you come there and with an intention and a purpose, you can get something out of it. And if at the very least it's friendships and somebody who can go through this journey with you, you can get something out of it. I mean, shoot, the food, it was everything from like just the food being good to being at the stadium, at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I saw it built and I had never been in it yet. So that's the crazy part. I'm like, dang, okay, I finally get to be in here and I'm on the field. The speakers were amazing. I met people I love. Like, I love D-Smoke, and I actually got to talk to him and stuff like that. So that was really cool. I feel like they really invested in the people that they brought there, because everybody was in some sort of leadership position. And it's true, I didn't know that there were that many Black men and women in those positions in sports. So the exposure was nice. And also I love that they stayed true to the culture as far as it was sports, music, and fashion. And as somebody with a musical background who doesn't necessarily I don't want to leave that alone. It's kind of like a break in between for me, really. It showed me that I don't have to do like one thing. You can dabble in both. And it also showed me that sports can expose you to both as well. Like, you can still dip your finger maybe in some fashion. You can dip your finger in music. So that it really expanded my mindset as like being a journalist and what that meant from sports.
Yeah, definitely. Took. Yeah, it'll definitely help you. You can make it for sure.
No, I can't. Look, I plan on coming next year for sure. Jazz, one thing I was super excited about, and I think the fellas can agree to it, especially Sharky being in a part of it, was the fact that I saw a lot of young Black media representatives on opening days. Like, I do follow you. I follow Sharky, of course. Shout out to our guy Devin with the Grizz, and so on and so forth. My guy Dane with the Phoenix Suns. Is like just everywhere you look, we're seeing young Black people starting to be taken more serious in media. And you said that you were the only Black woman in your field, especially in San Antonio. So I wanted you to, I guess, talk about your experience being not only I'm pretty sure one of the only Black people representing the media side of the Spurs, but the only Black woman as well.
I enjoy it. There was one other Black gentleman who worked with the Spurs, and now he's in DC working with the Commanders. So props to him because he really deserves it. But other than that, the Black women I knew are in PR. There's a couple of them, and one also got a promotion to be the head of PR for the Austin Spurs too. So that was awesome to see. But when I go into the media room and I'm in the workroom, I am the only Black woman, and I am. If there aren't like maybe two of my other peers, I'm the youngest person. It can give you a sense of imposter syndrome, because it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm good at what I'm doing, but I'm the only person who looks like me in here. And it's weird because you don't know you're going to feel that way until you're there, until you're in that space and everybody's shooting questions and you're like, you want to get a word in, and it's not even disrespectful. The guys have been older white males have been very kind, very supportive of me, have talked to me about my work and my questions and what they like and just giving me pointers. But it doesn't stop to feel like, okay, and then you're a woman. So you're like, these guys are just going back and forth. You're like, okay,
where do I fit in?
Right. Right. But what I do think is comforting to me, the guys I talk to look like me, and I tell myself that to give me confidence, because I'm talking to, the Spurs are a young team. I'm talking to young, mostly either Black men or they're foreign. They're not even from here. And they're considered Black when they come to America. And so, that kind of brings me comfort, because I've found ways to it brings me down, it calms me down, and it just have a conversation, just talk to them and keep it simple and don't worry about anything, and that's kind of what I have to do to not let, because sometimes it is a big conversation outside, but sometimes you really have to like bring in tunnel vision, bring yourself back to where you are at that moment and ground yourself a little bit, and don't get caught up in like what everybody's saying about you being, okay, you're young and Black. Like, people may not even be noticing that in that moment. And so I just have to remember, like, okay, now right now I'm doing my job. And then at the end, I'm like, okay, I represent it for people who look like me. And then the next person who comes and looks like me will be able to go into this space, and it'll be hopefully the norm more often.
Wow, that's dope, man. That's dope. Did you grow up a Spurs fan?
I think, you know what? When I was younger, because I wasn't here when I was younger. When I was younger, I wasn't really like a fan of the team, and I didn't even notice it was. I think it was like a seed being planted, because I fell in love with players whose stories I knew before I even really knew their game, if that makes sense. So like, I was a Kevin Durant fan because I watched the documentary and I was like,
you just became my best friend.
This guy.
You just became my best friend.
But I liked him, and then I loved the way he played. I love Steph Curry. It's something about Steph Curry that I'm really fond of. I like John Morant. I mean, this is this Memphis podcast. I mean, I love John Morant. Because and I'm definitely a big underdog fan, and I think that's kind of how I developed my fandom at first. Now, when you come to San Antonio, you're hit with the culture. It's like, you're a Spurs fan whether you like it or not, when you're here. So I would say, yes, I grew up a Spurs fan, but the love that I have for them now is probably 10 times that, because like I said, when I know the story, when I know the journey, it just makes me like a little bit more invested. So I'm definitely a Spurs fan now, but growing up, it was almost, it wasn't like a question. It was just like, oh yeah, the Spurs are playing. Like, everybody's a fan. You get free coffee once they win. It's a part of the community to be a Spurs fan.
See, I was just about to say, like, can you describe like what it's like to be a Spurs fan? Really, I want to know the difference between last year being a Spurs fan and coming into this year being a Spurs fan, because I know it's two completely different things.
Actually, you know what? You'd be surprised. The only difference is that now the people who were stuck in nostalgia are starting to come out as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Spurs fans were Spurs fans. You rarely get like jumping in and out of this because they're so in tune with the community and the culture. So if you're living here and you are a Spurs fan, they were loving them last season as well. Just the conversation changed. It was like, when are we going to get back to? And I was like, this is like a rebirth. Like, you can't hope to get back to Tim, Manu. Like, these guys are Hall of Famers. Their careers are, their really great careers are done. Like, they've ran their race, they've retired. Let's move forward. So a lot of people were just stuck in that nostalgia, and rightfully so, though, because it's like the energy in the air. It's a part of your schedule here. It's like the Spurs are playing, jobs have signs everywhere. There's murals everywhere. You can't really get away from it. So I understand why they got stuck in that. So last season, it was doing a lot of introducing more so. Like, who are these new guys? What is this new? I mean, we had gotten rid of all of our vets. So it was like, who is this? Now this season, now that you know these guys, and then Wemby kind of gives those old heads a reason to really come out again. It feels like a family again, definitely. Like, when we have our scrimmage at the beginning of every season, and the stadium was full for a scrimmage, and the kids love it. It's a community thing for all ages. It's not like, oh, basketball is just for the adults to go out at night and watch. Everybody's watching the game.
Speaking of Wemby, could you describe the culture of San Antonio as a city, and what's the drinking age limit in San Antonio? Because if I see one more picture of Wemby in the club.
Okay, this is the thing. So, like, Memphis, Atlanta, and y'all know how Atlanta is, big cities like New York and stuff like that. Club life is not the same here. It's not the same. People don't, I mean, like, young adults go to the club and stuff like that, but it's not really like clubs here. It's bars. And the bars, most of them also have a dining area. So you can go into it. I mean, people got their kids at stuff where they sell alcohol. I'm like, seriously, it's not even, some stuff is, there are a few places that are 21 and up, 23 and up. But other than that, I mean, unless it's way after hours, everybody's there. You can get in at 18, you can go in at 18 if it's not a 21 and up place, and you can be in there and there's still a full service bar in a place, because San Antonio is a bar city. It's not really like a club city. Now they're moving more along those lines, because it's kind of just what you do as you, I guess, elevate a city's nightlife. But I can promise you he was in a place where he legally could be, and you can get virgin drink. Like, people act like they don't sell nothing else at a bar. Like, there's so many other things to get at a bar, and then there's a whole bunch of tables, and then on top of that, there's Spurs PR there with him. So Spurs staff, he can legally be there. Like, he's just where people go to watch sports. That's where people go to watch sports here. Sports bars. Everybody's at a sports bar to watch a game. So it's really not that big of a deal. Like I said, there are some places that are 21 and up, but they will let you know. And Texas sheriffs, they do not play. You're not getting in. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not getting in. So I don't understand why people are acting like it's crazy. But even some of the clubs here, they ID for 21 and up. But if you're 18, they stamp you. You can go in at 18, but you can't drink. So it's like, it just depends on where you are. But it's definitely not like he wasn't an oddball out. He was just 7'4". That's it. That's the only thing that made him different.
Speaking of 7'4", is Rookie of the Year Wemby's to lose?
Yes. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy watching him and Chet face off. I definitely got my eye on Scoot, and I don't know. It's something about the Thompson twins. I haven't seen them playing that much, but I know they played with one of our guys, Dominic Barlow. So I've seen a little bit of footage of them from Overtime Elite. but you just can't. I mean, nobody's doing what Wemby's doing. He's kind of in a league of his own, and all he has to do is progress in his own lane. People may think, I mean, guys can excel in other areas depending on who they have backing them up. Like Brandon may be a leading scorer simply because Charlotte is like dropping like flies. Like they don't really have many other people to look to. I'm just saying these things can happen, you know. Which one of the Thompson twins is on the Rockets? A man can come and he can show out with the Rockets because let's not lie, they're a showboating type of team. So he could come and he could have the freedom to really put on a show. He could have that asset going for him, and people will be like, "Oh, he's Rookie of the Year because he's entertaining to us." But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and if you're looking at Wemby's stat sheet just in the first 2 preseason games, there's nobody competing with him right now. Now, we haven't seen everybody play, but I'm not going to sit here and act like he's not who he is. You know what I mean? That'd be crazy. So I think it's his to lose.
We got a few more. What's your favorite current and all-time Spur of all time? So favorite Spur current and all time.
Okay. I'm gonna start with all time because current I know exactly what it is. All time, all time, I don't even know. People be like, just say Tim Duncan because why not? I love DeMar DeRozan, and I know he wasn't like a Spur for forever, but I love DeMar DeRozan. He's one of my
Memphis
favorite
Grizzlies,
players.
DeMar DeRozan.
I love DeMar DeRozan. He's just it's somebody's game. I love his game. I think his personality is so cool. He did this interview with Taylor and just getting to know more about him and the way he looks at the game. And then even how he dealt with the passing of his father. Like, man. But I really like DeMar DeRozan. And I liked him as a Spur. I was kind of mad. And then, the obvious ones, you know, Tim, Manu. Everybody loves Tim, Parker, like Tony. Everybody loves Tim, Manu, and Tony. So I would say for the past, maybe also Manu, because I've actually said hi to him before. He was really, really sweet. So Manu is really sweet. But currently, Devin Vassell's hands down my favorite one right now. And they're all my favorite. I love them all in their own way. They all have their own like personality and flair on the court that I enjoy. Like Jeremy Sohan is definitely fun and entertaining to watch. Keldon is like just the energy for the team. So I love all of them. But Devin, man, now I cover him closely because he's my beat. So I know an extensive amount about him, which is one reason why I also really like him. But he is so underrated. It makes no sense. If you don't know who he is, you're going to know by the end of the year because you'll be like, man, who's this dude who keep freaking scoring on our team? Like, who is this guy? He's going to become a nuisance to everybody. And people started noticing that at the end of the last season, and he started getting double teamed. But now that there's Wemby, they can't really double team him like they want to. Because if Wemby's going to draw all the attention to him, Wemby's going to pass it out to Dev, like on the perimeter. So he's going to gain the traction that I think he deserves. And it's stuff that he hasn't even been able to really show yet, because when he was here, when he first came in, he came in during COVID, all the vets were here. And then they went through the losing season and stuff. And then he had an injury that he dealt with, and he's gotten over that now. So people don't even really understand. And if you look at his stat sheet, he's consistently progressed. So I only see it getting better like from here. But he's definitely one of my favorites.
All right. So give us, in your opinion, a time frame to which we can expect the Spurs to be back in the NBA playoffs.
The playoffs. I say it like that because we're trying to get to the freaking play in. Like the playoffs, man. Let me see, because
I like that she's thinking about it too.
Yeah, I like.
They need time. I'm through and through. Like, don't talk about my guys. because I will definitely go in for them. I will defend them to the end, but we know where their faults are. And I think I'm okay. Playoffs. Maybe I don't 3 years? Because I'm thinking they're gonna be growing pains with Wemby this season. There's growing pains, but that could lead us to maybe a lottery pick next season, possibly. And then I'm thinking playing after that, because there's another established culture. They're good at establishing like a culture and knowing what they want to do for that season. So that's why I say after the next 2 seasons, maybe that third season, I feel like we could even be contenders for the play-in by then. And then after that, I would say playoffs. Now, how other teams work into that, I don't know. Anything can happen. But I also think in 3 years, shoot, LeBron don't even look like he want to retire. But I'm also thinking in 3 years, like, let's say LeBron does retire. Let's say even maybe CP3 will have a ring by then.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of things that people are waiting to happen will kind of come into fruition, and then it will finally be like their moment to actually contend. Now, title contending, I say maybe 5 before we can actually be in a real like conversation for that. However, playoffs, they can do a few runs. I'm hoping in 3 years we can do a few runs in the playoffs.
Yeah, love the unbiasedness.
Yeah, love it. So unlike,
it's definitely not this year.
Yeah. Basically, like you look at them like OKC, essentially, like the steps they taken. They make playoffs 2 years ago, play in last year. Everybody looking at them as a legit playoff team this year. So kind of like that 3-year plan.
Right. And I feel like they're even following. And honestly, when you have competition like that, it could be sooner. I'm not gonna hold them back from anything, because this could have. There's some kinks that I feel like they still need to work out. That's in the roster, maybe. I feel like once that gets moved around, then the core is pretty solidified, is my point. Devin's going to be here another 5 years. Wemby's got 4. Keldon has 4. Like, Stohan's going to be here. So I just think after they work out the bench more, which is still great. Like, it's not like they ain't got nobody coming off the bench, but they're just, contracts are coming up, things are changing. So then I feel like they'll have a lot of things figured out. But at the same time, these guys they're sneaky. That's why I can't be sure about everything, because they're sneaky. They'll come up on you and make the play-in freaking next season, and you'll be like, what? And when you have a guy like Wemby, you can't even count yourself out of too much. Like, you can't count yourself out of everything. So that's why I'm not even banking on like. I'm pretty sure we probably could get a lottery pick with the type of teams that are playing this season, but you can't like bank on. You can't be like, yeah, we're never gonna such and such. You really don't know, because he's so different. You don't know what you're working with right now.
And they are being coached by the greatest coach of all time.
That part, and he and Pop knows how to let them figure it out, which is something that he said he's doing. Like,
okay.
This is Victor's first time in the NBA. This is our first time we're all seeing him play in a situation where, this is my personal opinion, but I've heard him say often, like, he doesn't have to tell teammates what to do off the court anymore. He doesn't feel like what I basically hear him saying is he's not like the leader right now anymore. He can actually focus on what he needs to do to be better. And it's like, with the way he was playing in France, you give the kid time to focus to be better, and he's taking it. Like, what do you think he's going to do at that time? And then you have him in a group where the veterans, and Hall of Famers, are molding him. So he's in the best situation he can be in to supersede expectations. So with that,
right after practice, they take him out to drinks.
No, they don't.
He
It's
is
not
not
even in
gonna,
his
he is
schedule.
not gonna live that down.
He's not, but it's crazy because I mean, here that's why everybody wasn't freaking out because they're like, bro, we drink, and you have to understand this is a heavily Hispanic community. I'm not saying they don't illegally consume alcohol. They don't illegally consume alcohol, but it is not foreign to like enjoy yourself and have fun, and for drinks to be available to those who can drink drinks. So yeah.
All right, and lastly, we're gonna shift things from the NBA to the WNBA to a team that used to play in San Antonio that's currently in the WNBA finals right now. So just give us your quick thoughts on the Aces and Liberty right now.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest too. So when the Silver Stars, dang, it's been a while since we even had a team here. When they were here, I definitely probably watched the WNBA more because we had a team here. But after that, fell off a little bit. Now I'm getting back into it. So I've been like because I'm so trying to keep up with the NBA, I've been like a Twitter watcher and like a reader. So I'll read articles to keep up. So I don't have the biggest opinion. However, I am for the Aces. Y'all should know why. Becky Hammond. Like, why would I not? Like, exactly. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Becky Hammond, back-to-back championships. Because she's the best. She deserves it. That's the GOAT right there. So that Spurs and Aces relationship is real. Everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but people here are really, really rooting for them and rooting for it's really like a personal vendetta. It's like Becky, we want Becky to win, but I mean Aja Wilson is amazing from what I've seen. What I do like though, the Liberty, they really took the first two games on the chin. And what was her name? Sabrina said it's not even like they're not taking it personal. It was about the Aces defending their home court, and now it's their turn. And I really like that mindset because you're not going in trying to point the finger at anybody. They're taking responsibility and they're still competing. Because when I looked at halftime, it's like what 45, 43 or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And Liberty were up. I don't know if the game's over now. I don't know if they took that one.
Yeah,
Liberty
won.
So they took that one. So I mean, she said what they were going to do. She said they were going to take their home. They were going to defend their home court. But I do think what Becky said, we executed schemes with a high degree of physicality and awareness. And that's the one thing that I think that the Aces may have over the Liberty right now is how physical they are getting and how aware they are of themselves and each other. They kind of have this flow to them, which I think you kind of can see Spurs tendencies in Becky's coaching, which I really enjoy, obviously. Very straightforward, fundamental basketball. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, mine's not too in depth because I'm not the biggest analyst with the WNBA. I need to get more into it. And it's not hard to get into it. It's just a lot to balance, but I'm definitely rooting for the Aces heavy right now.
And one like additional bonus question. And you spoke about it, you said not everyone is too, you said mostly everyone is excited for the Aces, right? And Becky Hammond. I'm assuming a small percentage don't care for the Aces because the San Antonio Superstars moved to Vegas. They're pretty much.
I mean, it's a conversation locally. It's like, well, dang, and then it's also like, why Vegas? Like Vegas is so far. It's like it's nothing compared to Texas as far as where it is and being able to still support a women's team. Some people have even requested that they bring women's basketball, like professional women's basketball, back to San Antonio because of the market. And they could. They had a support system here, but maybe the numbers weren't. Well, at least from what it looked like for me. And I was younger when they were here, so it was like going to a Silver Stars game was a big deal because it was a professional game. So to me, at that age, I didn't know what the numbers really looked like. I just knew that we loved them as much as we love the Spurs. So it could have been different through the lens of somebody who was older and who can look at the documentation of who was actually showing up. But yeah, some people were like, like why they do that? But it's no hate or anything. But I think the consensus is like Becky Hammond. If you're a Spurs fan, you're rooting for Becky at the end of the day. Even if you don't watch, what I have seen is Becky coaching the Aces has made a lot of people want to tune into the WNBA more, because some people are more it's even though they moved the Silver Stars, some people are more upset that Becky ain't coaching in the NBA. So that's why they root for her so hard to dominate the WNBA, because they feel like, okay, well, she should have had the job here anyway. But that's not my job to give her no job. So I'm gonna hold back on that. But yeah, a lot of people are like, they want her to take over for that reason, just to show that she's capable. And they haven't done back-to-back championships in the WNBA and since like 2002. So just for if they do take this, San Antonio is going to celebrate Becky as if we are Vegas. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's because Becky Hammond, if I'm not mistaken, played for San Antonio Silver Stars.
Yeah.
The Silver Stars, yeah, she did at one point.
So that's why like, she played for the Spurs.
She's been there. Vegas. She's been here. Like, this is like home for her. So, and I mean, her and Pops have a great relationship. When she comes here, it's like Becky's in the house. People are going crazy because she's been here for so long. So Becky is up there with Tim and Manu and Tony. Like, when she comes back, it's like, oh, like basketball royalty pretty much here. So I'm proud. I'm happy for her. And I think what I'm most happy about is that I feel like she has a good unit to work with. And I know she runs a tight ship. She was under Pop. So I'm not surprised. Like, when she has her attitude sometimes post game and she says, some slick stuff, I'm not even surprised, because I mean, look who she learned from, all in good faith. But it's funny because you can tell, like, even in the Hall of Fame speeches, the relationship that they had and how he like took her under his wing and even let her be the leader in a lot of cases. I mean, even in the G League coaching and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited. This is probably one of the WNBA finals where I'm actually like, okay, I want something to happen in my favor.
Well, we hope Trevor is Aces fan, and we're hoping for the best, because they did lose potentially Chelsea Gray. She got hurt in the fourth quarter today, so I'm hoping that wasn't too serious, but it did look serious, because she couldn't even walk. She was jumping to the locker room. So, and
she's like a key component. They said something that I thought was cool, was that it was an article, and she said she basically can read their minds now on the court. And because I think she came in 2021.
I would put it past Chelsea to say that. So
yeah. And I was like, dang, like when you know your team that well, I mean, that's, who doesn't want that? I mean, Spurs are in a position where they're cycling through point guards right now and stuff. So like, you want somebody who can understand you, because that's when you're in the finals. You don't want to have to be figuring that out in the finals and don't know where people are gonna go, where they, what's your spot, the communication is important. That's what it seems like the girls have is pretty solid communication. So, that sucks. That made me sad.
Yeah, just hope for the best now. But that does it for our main Entree segment. We'll come back with our Flowers segment after a word from our sponsor at SeatGeek.
SeatGeek is the ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. When you use our code LBR Media, you will get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek scores each ticket selection 0 to 10 to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Click the link in the description to download the app, and remember our code LBR Media for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek, your route to high quality ticket selection.
All right, we back. Head to our Flower segment. Took a week off. Last week I had the guys do a real talk segment, so it kind of be alternating these segments a little bit throughout the weeks. But Flower segment, of course, giving just a flowers to anyone, anybody in sports world. We kind of already have throughout this episode, but Jazz, since you're the guest, I'll let you go first if you have any.
My flowers, I want to keep it. I'm gonna keep it home and say, Okay, so it's only been two games as far as here. So I mean, I'm gonna give my flowers to Wemby because I feel like he's just come in and adapted, which is not easy. I mean, you coming from France, like, and then you just got to come here and just to assimilate with the NBA culture, and the guys, the team. And I get everybody other people have gone through this transition before, but the pressure that he has to be unstoppable and amazing and this alien, and he's been all of that just in 2 games. And the highlights, like his highlight reel is already being chopped up and put together just off of 2 preseason games. So I can't even imagine what he's going to do during the season. So I'm gonna give my flowers to him, a little 19-year-old, not little, but he's 19, 7'4" kid with all these expectations on his back, and he's taking it like a champ. He's been nothing but humble every time we talk to him. And just willing to learn, like, and he's almost relieved that like there are guys who know more than he does and are willing to show him something, even though it's like, well, what can we show you? But he's like, there's things there for me to learn and to be aware of. And he's like wanting to be yelled at by Coach Pop and wanting to be talked to by other coaches. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's just the best way to come into a situation that he's been put in.
Trevor, y'all got it.
I got one. I know it's kind of generic and basic, but I'm gonna give my flowers to this weekend at large, more specifically the college football realm. I believe practically every game that has come on Friday and Saturday in some shape or form or fashion has gone down to the wire. Give my flowers to everyone who had games on yesterday and Friday. Us, the fans, we got our W overall. I'll just say give my flowers to college football for the week they had Friday and Saturday.
I'm gonna give my flowers to the comeback kicks, not the comeback kids, but the comeback kicks. Reeboks, they back, y'all. I want to give
they
my
were
flowers
never
to
gone for me.
Yeah, they never left.
They
never left.
Hey, shout out to y'all. But for everybody that don't know, they signed Shaquille O'Neal for president of basketball operations, and my guy, the most influential basketball player of all time, Allen Iverson, is vice president. So Reebok back, yeah, oh yeah, they back. I gotta start restocking my Reeboks. But
the moment the questions are re-released, I am making the purchase.
I got some in the closet right now. I'm
put them on. Put them on. They
I hope
ready.
people don't start bandwagon. Don't keep your Nikes on and leave the Reeboks to the people who've been wearing these.
I got re-up on the kamikazes. I had them jumps a couple years ago, but they gone by the wayside. I got re-up on those. So I'm excited for that though. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Aldo, I'll probably leave Nike. I literally just ordered my first pair of Jazz Wormleys, and yesterday I need some more Hooper shoes. I found some KDs for y'all KD fans on this show right now. That's a Hooper.
That's all that. Who was the KD fan?
Right.
That's
this
all
guy
that,
out here.
So another reason for you to go and watch and like Devin Vassell, all he wears is KD 14s. That's all he wears for games. Like and I mean, he probably has the biggest collection I've ever seen because every single game and even in practice, all he rocks is KD 14s.
Right. I mean, hey, that's
that's real.
And that's literal. That's not even like, oh, that's all he wears. No, like that's literally like that's what he played. Those are his playing shoes.
Shout out to him, man. He know what greatness is.
Yeah.
He know what greatness is.
Hey, right back to Philos.
I had the Green Hills, man.
I just watched the Philos, bro.
Y'all wanted to bring back the Jabot jeans, the colorful t-shirts.
Hey, I used to rock the Jabot.
We say all that, man.
Come on, man.
Y'all like Jason Tatum's shoes?
I haven't seen
much attention.
I'm be honest, I ain't too big of the modern day basketball shoes that much because I don't know what happened. They're just not hitting the same.
They aren't, but his are nice. But specifically, they're black, white, and yellow. They're a tribute to his mom. Those ones are actually clean. Those are actually clean.
Okay.
So I checked
with the
those
exception
out.
of the Ja ones. I think the Ja ones is probably the only exception.
Those are
all
clean
them-
too.
yeah,
I
all
like
them
Ja Morant
colorways.
shoes.
Yeah, all them colorways. The ones that got the West Cement.
These are Shaqs. Yo, these are Nike Shaqs, bro. Come on, man.
What? Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum shoes.
Nah, these are Nike Shaqs. Nah, they ripping.
They got his name on there and everything.
Oh man, check it
They
out.
should.
Hold on, I'm finna look
I see
this
why
up
Reebok
right
making
now.
a comeback now. That make all the sense in the world now. Reebok come back and get everything that
Shaq is probably like, oh heck no, like y'all ain't finna just.
Shaqs, bro.
Where's the creativity, my guy?
Oh,
Those are
Oh,
only
yeah,
two.
these-
Those only two I've
these
seen
are-
that I really like. Those.
These are literally like mid-top Shaqs with the Jordan
Come on
logo
now.
on the next one.
Now I gotta watch them. Now I gotta see now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I gotta go check them out.
Have us on a conspiracy theory.
I
now.
seen them. I was like, yeah, these are
Whoops.
like mid-top Shaqs with the
Just-
Jordan
just
logo
a-
right next to
yeah.
them.
Yeah, just definitely Shaqs, bro.
I'm
Already
sorry,
giving them
Jason. I ain't even- Y'all gonna give me.
Jason, we
hurt.
love you, buddy, but we're gonna keep it a spade on here.
That's
Like,
what it
That's
is.
so wrong.
those
that's
are
so-
those are literally. Actually, no. Now I think about it, those are the kamikazes. Those are the ones I was talking about.
Just
The
like
ones I had.
Don't do
Those
him.
are
I like
literally
Jason. Though. Don't do
kamikazes with
him like
with
that.
the Jordan logo next to them.
Nike can't be stopped at all, man. They giving all the colorways of the Kyrie's to Josh. So shit, Nike, we see you. We see you, Nike.
Man. But to get back on the topic, my flowers are first up, take it back to college football this weekend. It's unfortunate for the black community what happened Friday night, but I had to give my flowers to Stanford because
Man,
most of everybody went to sleep at halftime when they were down 29-0. Whoever the
stopped
receiver
watching, I ain't
was, Ayo Maynard, whoever, bro, who snacked on Travis Hunter, you get your flowers, bro.
He had what 13 catches for 300.
And 3 touchdowns. Hey, you
Three
get your flowers, bro.
touchdowns, Yeah.
You just got to salute after that.
Yeah.
Also, flowers, the person I guess today, Jazz, definitely give you your flowers. Just seeing like black women in the sports media industry. Would love to see it.
Thank you.
Definitely love to see everything you're doing with Spurs, your interviews. Just keep going, keep pushing. Like, yeah,
Thank
You're on your way.
you. I appreciate it.
most definitely. But before we get out of here, of course, we got Would You Rather segment. But first up, we got another sponsor. Shout out to the sponsors we got.
hey,
Okay, sponsors.
Hey, we keep it coming. We move.
Period.
Let's get our last ad read from our sponsor at BetStamp. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the simplest way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, signupexpert.com/LBR, you'll be connected to all the sports books in your region, along with the review of each platform and its unique benefits. All these sports books have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sports books, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/LBR. I see Ryan over here talking about all these damn sponsors. Hey, we moving, man. We
We
moving.
moving. I tried to.
We on the up and up. But last segment, Would You Rather? Let's start with, I guess, of course, Jazz, do you have any Would You Rathers for us?
Dang, huh? You gotta give me a chance to think of one.
Ah,
I forgot about that part. I ain't think of one yet. Come back to me. Come back to me.
Okay, anybody else got one?
let me see. I have one, but I need my Cowboys fan here as well, so I'm gonna wait for that one.
Man, we can get it on without them, man. What is
Yeah, go on, shoot.
I mean, it's more. It's all right. So, would y'all rather have an owner of an NBA or NFL team or NBA team who's hands on with the organization, or that's like I'm gonna hire the people to do their jobs? Because apparently David Tepper is really the one that wanted Bryce Young from the start, and y'all know I wanted CJ from the jump, and apparently Frank Wright wanted CJ. So it's like we made the choice for our owner. Just like, you know, Cheetah would say that the Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, he's hands-on, even though they won a championship. But then you have teams again who owners like, hey, do y'all thing. Which one y'all prefer? What's up, Trevor?
Yeah, he won championships, but he also alienated those coaches that won championships. As you can see, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson still ain't speaking to this day. So, but to answer your question, I'll take the owner that just says, "Here, I'm gonna hire the people to do their jobs. How much we gonna pay them, and I'm just gonna pay them that amount." Because I don't think I'm too much of a fan of a hands-on owner that wants to do everything, that wants to coach the team, that wants to tell coaches what to call, who should do what, who should do this, who should do that. Nah, just sign the paycheck, hire the people you need to hire, and let the personnel do their jobs. That's why they have the titles that they have to begin with in the first place.
Yeah, I don't like micromanagers. Give me the owners like the Grizzlies owner, Robert Perry. You writing these paychecks. You hire the people and put them in place, and you writing checks. And you out in another country, out of the country somewhere, and come back in every once in a while and check in. So yeah, give me that on any day.
I have one for our illustrious guest.
Okay.
Would you rather have Wemby take Rookie of the Year, but you're back in the lottery this year, or you make the play-in and win the game? We'll say what OKC did last year, with them making the play-in and win the game, but Roy goes to someone else.
Which could very well happen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look at something real quick.
That's a good one, Trevor. You got it.
In that scenario, it's probably going to Chet Holmgren because OKC would be in the playoffs. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean,
Man, you know what? That's hard to answer because the question is, who is available to us? I don't know. I'm not even because I'm never worried about the Spurs building through the draft, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They always get the right pieces. I mean, even last season with Blake and doggone Malachi, like great additions to the team, and they fit in really well. So I'm not worried about if we did have to get a lottery pick, but I just feel like if Wemby were to deserve Rookie of the Year, I'd be pissed off if he didn't get it regardless. Like I'd be so mad because I think the principle would be, how would you hype somebody up that much on your end and not reward them for being everything you thought they would be? That wouldn't even make sense to me. And if we did well, if we did well, I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be worried about not getting a lottery pick. I wouldn't be worried about where we fall in the draft, because Trey Jones was second round, Keldon Johnson was a second round pick, and look at them. They're top 6 right now on the team. So I feel like draft is really like no sweat for us, especially with the way they done stacked up like picks and everything. It's really their something's telling me is the Spurs really have a good like board to play on, like trades, everything. Like they can kind of do what they want to do because they've racked up so many freaking picks. Like they don't really need to be in the lottery anymore. I mean, they have Wemby. They don't really have to be in the lottery anymore. Okay. I don't think they need it. But either way, I would be pissed off if Wemby does well and they don't give it to him. That makes no sense.
So you would be pissed off. I just want to make sure that I got this right. You'd be pissed off if Wemby did what he did, didn't win Rookie of the Year, but you made the play-in. And not only made the play-in, you were within a game of possibly getting into the playoffs, into the top 8.
I'm cool with that.
All right. Just want to make sure.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it because I trust what the Spurs do in the draft, regardless of where we land. Some people have to be at a certain place. Some people need to be in that place. I don't think they do. So I'd be cool with going to the play-in, maybe making the playoffs and having a great season. But I would be pissed if he didn't get Rookie of the Year. Okay. That don't even go together. Like,
yeah.
That's why that was a hard one.
I ain't even gonna lie. They can make the play-ins and still get some good picks. I'm looking at their future picks. They got a Raptors first pick next year, and they got an Atlanta Hawks first round pick 2025.
Right. Yeah, because of that trade. Yeah. So we don't need like the guys can, and that's probably why they like we want to win, and there's no point on trying to not win because they don't even.
I see Spurs.
They don't even have to do that. Yeah. That's why when people say that and be like they're gonna tank and try to I'm like they don't need to. They're stocked up. So it's really their game to play.
All right.
Yep. All right. I guess we're back to round of you, Jazz. If you still thinking on it, got one. If you don't, it's fine.
Would you rather have been on would you wait, hold on. Dang it. What was I? Dang, I had it. Let me ask you right. Okay, because they just played Stanford. Would you rather have been a Buff last night, or would you rather have played for Stanford last night? And not even because they won. What team would you have rather been on? Even though if you knew that was gonna be a game for y'all during the season, who would you still be wanting to play for?
Oh man.
I'm still gonna say Colorado because I'm thinking of the future. I'm thinking, like you said with San Antonio, I'm thinking the process. Exactly. So I'm thinking the future. I'm thinking, they're gonna be better down the road than they are right now. So I still go with the Buffs.
I'll still say the Buffs. Even though I'm kind of looking at Dion a little bit funny because I would have been taking responsibility for that loss if I was him. But
what?
Yes.
You would have took responsibility.
No, if I'm Dion, he's supposed to take responsibility on that. You don't blowing a 29-0 lead. That's not on the players. That's coaching.
Yeah, it's on you, job.
That's coaching 100% of the way.
I mean, it's both, but it starts.
He still said he wasn't happy with what happened. I don't know if he really put the blame on the guys, but at the same time,
he said, and I'll quote, "I need to find out if these guys are actually in love with the game or in like with the game."
He ain't lying though.
That's legit.
He's not lying, but at the same time, I'm sorry. You had a 29-0 lead. You was
that is crazy.
You pretty much was coasting to the victory, and for some reason, you took your foot off the gas. Like, yeah, the players are on the field as it happens, but as a coach, at some point when it got to, I think it was 29-13. That's when you like, all right, we gotta reel this in to see what's going on. I didn't like how Dion addressed that whole situation in the press conference. Like, I would have much rather him just say what he said, but took a little bit more accountability for that loss than what he actually did.
My question would be though, what like obviously you can't mic up the coach during the game, but I would have loved to hear what he was saying. Because I've seen before where, again, we don't know what he says, but I've seen before where it seems like stuff just isn't translating for them. And to me, it might be a frustration because there's only so much direction you can give without playing with somebody. So if I'm not on the field and I give a direction, I think personally the phrase in love and just loving the game and being in love with the game is what's not clicking because everybody sees the scoreboard. So what do you have captains for? What do you have, or dogs? What are the dogs for? Yeah. What are the leaders on the team for? If y'all see the scoreboard too, and you see what's going on, I would go back and watch the highlights and be like, where are the adjustments where I don't have to tell you, oh guys, we shouldn't lose this. I think that's the question because ain't no coach like blowing the 29-0 lead is crazy. But I've seen before where, I mean, even Coach Pop, one of the toughest I've seen before where these guys have blown leads before too. But it
like
was
13 and 33 seconds.
But I mean, they've blown. Don't bring it up. Don't tell me. But they've blown leads before.
Shout out to my guy T-Mac, man. Come on.
Shout out
to the Mac, man. Love you, buddy.
They've blown leads before. But I've seen even Coach Pop be like, you can see where the disconnect is happening. And I mean, I've seen where like the lead is blown, but the effort still comes back in the fourth quarter or something. Like we'll be like, oh, that third quarter they just fell from underneath themselves. Or you can document like where the fall happened on the court. My thing is where was the disconnect for 4 more freaking quarter, like the second half plus 2 overtimes? Like where was the disconnect for that long is my question. Because as a coach, then I'm like, okay, now the whole time y'all saw them creeping up and just thought they were scoring for fun. Like you're still playing a football game. First overtime, I'm like, what the like.
I honestly, if it gets 29-13, I'm like, yo, what's going on here?
It was one of the only times that Spencer James didn't give a halftime speech or something. Because God damn,
I mean, because and then at halftime is you. I mean, we know Coach Prime ain't going into halftime just letting them stand around being cocky. So that's what I'm. So as a coach, you probably trying to figure. Now I'm not defending. Of course, coach's responsibility is to coach, but I am wondering if like he's just wondering what's getting lost in translation. Are you listening because you just playing college ball? Or are you listening because you are in love with it and you want to win this game and you understand what's on the line for you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Great point.
Oh, and also that man playing too many snaps though. He is playing. Travis Hunter is playing.
Travis.
Yeah, he's playing too many snaps now.
Especially his first game back. I would have thought
his first game back. I wouldn't have had him out there as much as he was out there.
Shoot, he may have asked. He freaking asked to come back, and dude was still healing. He probably was like, "Don't take me out, coach."
Welcome back, Spence. Welcome back, my guy.
It's like you got snatched on in overtime. God damn.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
it's crazy.
All right, man. That was a fun one. Jazz, thank you for coming on. Just let the people know where they can follow you at on social media and follow your work.
Instagram at Jazz Tamir. It's Jazz with 2 Z's. Tamir, Tamir. Twitter is the same. Just put a 1 after it. Jazz Tamir 1. And pretty much links to all my articles and stuff. You'll either get highlights on Instagram or you'll get links on Twitter and game updates and footage and stuff of interviews and things like that. More interviews on the Synopsis is coming. But that's a little bit more of like broader journalism for me. So women and men who work in sports, as well as artists, writers, musicians, things like that. So, yeah.
Cool, y'all. Everyone who's listening, watching, make sure y'all follow her, and also it'll be in the description. So it's already in the description now on your Instagram, Twitter, where to follow you and everything. So definitely. Also, y'all know where to follow us. LBR_media on Twitter, Twix, IG,
Twix,
IG, TikTok, and Facebook. Of course, check out the other podcasts. Through the Hardway will be out Tuesday, live Tuesday.
Yes,
with Took, Savage, and Sheedy. Also LBR Gaming, simply Trevor, LBR on Twitter. You could catch Trev with his mostly on 2K right now so far, right?
Yeah, it's mostly 2K right now. Until the next big time sports game drops, and I'll probably hop on it. Got another mockery video dropping. I don't know when I'm gonna get back to this Mama Moments joint. I'm like more than halfway there. So yeah, be on the lookout this week.
Yeah, you got your boy with you now.
Exactly. So now we just need our third, and then we can really start cooking. But hey, it is what it is, man.
Yep. And of course, the last podcast, the Jeans Report with Darren Jeans. He'll be back soon. Always subscribe, listen on any audio platform at Let's Be Real Sports. Subscribe and watch us on YouTube at Let's Be Real Media. As we are, like I said, on YouTube and audio all together, we're on 11 to 12 different podcasting platforms. So always, me, follow me on Twitter or Twix at the @DAONE_P Shark, as I'll be coming with Grizzly stuff. I pretty much got somewhat a week off with as preseason ends, but starting this week, it's gonna get real. So just follow along for the ride. Right, literally.
Oh yeah, on Twix, I'm at the Art of Trevor. of course, of the preposition, so please don't capitalize it. I just mentioned everything with LBR Gaming coming this week, so hey, check it out.
And thank you guys so much for having me. I want to say thank you before we go. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I really come out of my shell after a little bit. So, but I enjoyed myself the whole time. Thank you so much.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And of course, follow me at Tab Shakir. If your favorite football team got a win, be grateful and shut the hell up because there are some of us that don't have wins. Happy Sunday.
One
Also,
day, 1 week.
You want me no time soon?
Bro, it's rough. But follow our last two members, Skyler _Skylido and Sheedy at It's Really Sheedy on Twix as well. Till next time, peace.
Peace.